Hello everyone, welcome to our channel. We are going to watch a post-qualifying press conference of the Bahrain Grand Prix. Let's watch it together.
A very warm welcome to the top three qualifiers for the FIA Formula One Bahrain Grand Prix. In third place, Charles Leclerc. In second place, George Russell. And taking his second pole position of the season and the second of his Formula One career, our pole sitter, Oscar Piastri. Very well done, Oscar. That was a tremendous lap to take pole position. How pleased are you with that second run in Q3?
Yeah, very happy. I think the car all weekend has been in a good place. Maybe not in FP1, but I don't think anyone's car was very good in FP1. So yeah, since then I felt very comfortable all weekend, and yeah, this morning was, I think, given the track conditions, a pretty solid performance, and yeah, the car was very similar this afternoon. So no, very happy with the job we've done. Proud of the job that I've done. I feel like I've put in a lot of good laps when I needed to, and yeah, to come away with poles, obviously very nice.
Oscar, you found nearly 4/10 between that first run in Q3 and the second run. Where did the time come from?
A little bit everywhere. I think I honestly can't remember exactly where, but just little bits around the lap. The first that I had in Q3 had done kind of an outlap on the red flag in Q2, and I don't know if that made a difference or not, but when you leave the garage and they're not nice and shiny like they normally are, maybe there's a psychological thing as well. So yeah, just found a little bit of time everywhere, and it was a very solid lap. Maybe a little bit wide in 13, but the rest of the lap was pretty solid. So no, very happy.
You mentioned the red flag in Q2. Just how difficult was this session to manage given the decreasing track temperatures, the gusting wind?
It was tough. I think the timing of the red flag was quite awkward because it was right on the limit for being able to do two runs, and no one had set a lap at that point, and being at our end of the pit lane, getting out of the pits can take nearly 5 minutes sometimes. So you have to factor that in, and we went pretty risky and just went for the one lap, and it was enough, obviously. So that was a tricky point that you needed to get right, because otherwise your weekend was pretty much in the bin. So glad we managed that, and then Q3 was a little bit more simple, just the two runs, and yeah, very happy.
Pole by 1.5 tenths. Is George closer than you were expecting?
After I saw him doing donuts in FP3, yes. No, I mean, I think the performance we had in FP3 was even a mystery to us, and I think we knew everyone would get a lot closer. I think it's been kind of up and down for everybody. One session seems to be Charles that's challenging us, then George. Max was quick at certain points, so it sort of seemed like everyone was peaking at different times, and still had to be on my toes, because I think 10.5 was a bit closer than I expected after this morning, definitely.
And Oscar, let's throw it forward to tomorrow. The last couple of races have been one-stoppers at the front. Are you expecting this one to be a little bit more interesting strategically?
Yes, probably. I think everyone's got very different tyres up and down the grid. George has only got one hard and one medium. Charles and I've got two mediums. Max has got two hards, so it's a bit of a mix, and we'll see what everyone goes for tomorrow, because I think it's a bit of a lottery at the moment. So I think it will be definitely more exciting from a strategic point of view, but for my sake, I hope not too exciting.
All right, very well done to you.
Yeah, well done to him. He was just so fast all the week. As he said, sometimes George was challenging with him, sometimes Max Verstappen, sometimes Charles Leclerc, but just one thing didn't change all the week. McLarens were fastest on the track. We were not surprised. Just for today, I was surprised at Vettel and Norris, how he just could do that, to be that far away from the pole position, how he just managed to let's say to be much more slower than than his teammate. And as you know, I'm sorry to interrupt this beautiful press conference, let's say, but I must do this kind of interruptions because of the rules. As you know, one more time, just I will ask for one more favor. Just don't forget to like the video, comment it, and subscribe to the channel. Let's listen the rest of the.
This isn't going to be necessarily a qualifying race. I think this is going to be the race which is most biased to the lap times you do in the race. So, you know, obviously I hope to make a good start. I've been on the front row here before and got into the lead at turn 1, so hopefully I can repeat that. But, you know, I think they're so far ahead of everybody. They can pit early, pit late. They'll probably potentially overtake us on track. But as I said, today we're on the front row and nobody expected anyone but Lando and Oscar to be on the front row. So maybe another surprise tomorrow.
All right, George, thank you.
Yes, George Russell said no one was expecting to see Mercedes on a front row, even himself just didn't expect to be in a front row with that Mercedes. But as I'm saying always, this is a Formula 1 and you will never know what will happen during the qualifying and during the race. Like Q1 and Q2, it was just a normal qualifying for the Mercedes, for the Ferrari, for the other teams, McLaren's. Just they were faster than everyone, but everything happened after that red flag. Everything I think changed after that red flag, and also at the Q3, let's say just George Russell just found some, let's say, racing line on a track, and he just kept improve, and he is at the second row. And the second thing is that I think he is not going to be. It's not going to be much more aggressive, I think, tomorrow on a race to beat Oscar Piastri in a first turn and just to keep his lead. Let's say I think tomorrow's race it will be more like a strategic, and who will do, I think, the best strategy tomorrow, who will save his tires and his pace to make optimum pace to save the tires. I think they will win the race, but definitely interesting races waiting for us tomorrow. And let's go to listen Charles Leclerc.
Thank you very much. Well done to you. And Charles, great job by you as well. You have a tremendous record here in Bahrain. Just how good was that qualifying lap?
Was really good, but I don't think today's performance relies on my record on this track. I think it's the result of a lot of work. I mean, at the beginning of the season, we obviously weren't where we wanted to be, and since 2 or 3 races, I've gone in an interesting direction, setup-wise, which seems to help me to extract a bit more out of the car. And that's what I'm trying to do every weekends. For now, it seems to be better and better, which is a good sign for the future. I'm happy with the lap. It was very, very tricky to put everything together, but I think I did so. So there wasn't much more inside the car. Again, I think as George mentioned, I did not expect to be so close to pole position just like him. But tomorrow is going to be a bit more of a challenge.
Well, tell us a little bit more about tomorrow. You've shown good pace over 1 lap. What are your prospects for the Grand Prix itself?
Honestly, McLaren seems to be extremely good with tire management, and more specifically the overheating of the tires. We've seen it in FP3. I think everybody was struggling a lot, but Oscar put a lap in. That was very impressive. And I think tomorrow in the race there will be lots of that. So I don't think we expect to challenge the McLarens, but we might be pretty close with the Mercedes, also with the Red Bulls. So it's going to be an interesting race. We all have different tires. Yeah, a good start will obviously be essential, especially with the high temps like this. To have clean air plays a big role into it.
You've spoken about the setup changes you've been going in the last 2 Grand Prix. What about changes to the car this weekend? Do you feel the car is generally more competitive with the new floor and the various other new bits?
Yeah, the team has done a really, really good job. I mean, we've all pushed quite a lot in the last few weeks because we've been struggling with performance, and I know that at the factory they've been pushing like crazy to try and bring this floor a bit early on, and that definitely made the difference, because if I look the gap with the P4, it's not that much, and I'm pretty sure that without the floor I wouldn't be P3, so that's already one position won, and I'm curious to see what it will do tomorrow. However, it's probably not the best track to extract the maximum out of this new upgrade, but in the next few weekends we shall see more of it.
Thank you, Charles. Well done.
Yeah, as you said, no one was expecting from Ferrari to be like this fast and to have the third position, but we just know Charles Leclerc, and the last year he was doing miracles like this with that let's say shitty car. He was doing a good performances on a qualifying, but and also that upgrade just Ferrari just bring here somehow worked for Charles Leclerc, but I can say the same things about Lewis Hamilton. He's keeping to struggle and to have a poor performance, but I think Charles Leclerc for tomorrow will fight for his life for that second position. Let's say I think for tomorrow will be best position, best finishing position, the second place for the Ferrari if they think optimistic, but like it's Formula 1, you will never know what will happen. Maybe also they will win a race, but I think it will be very difficult. But like their strategy will definitely just wait and see what will happen in front of you and wait for your turn, wait for your opportunity. Let's jump to the. I hope we will not have any stupid question, but let's jump to the questions of the press conference.
To all three of you, let's open this to the floor. We got, yes, Luke, please.
Luke Smith from The Athletic. Oscar, with Lando down in P6, now it's very early days in the championship, but these little momentum swings like we saw with you in Australia, like how important are they to be able to, I guess, seize this moment when it's there for you to take?
Let's see where he finishes first. Obviously it's nice to be on pole, but like George said, I think this is, probably the first race so far where qualifying doesn't mean everything. I think it's obviously still important, but I'm expecting him to fight back tomorrow, and I'll just try and make sure that I do the best job that I can, and wherever he ends up is where he ends up.
Just one short thing. I think the qualifying is the most important thing, because they just lost the race in Suzuka because they lost in qualifying to the Max Verstappen. Let's continue. I'm sorry for the interrupting, but I needed to say that.
All right, thank you, Oscar. Yep, another one.
Ed Strew, the race. Another one for you, Oscar. See, George said that McLaren, particularly you, can do pretty much anything tomorrow and they're going to be ahead. Obviously, everybody at McLaren has pushed back a bit when people have made claims about how far ahead you are. Do you feel that it's a kind of almost a different perspective, that now you're in a car that can consistently be the quickest? It's still actually incredibly hard work to extract that pace and work through the weekend. Is that kind of at the heart of that kind of pushback?
I mean, from my side, I'm certainly not shying away from the fact we have the best car at the moment. I think to say otherwise is not correct. But it is difficult, and the margins are still pretty tight. It doesn't take much of a mistake to lose a tenth or 2/10, and that's been the gap, more or less. So, I think at times we have looked very, very strong, like this morning, for example. But I think when everyone, turns up for qualifying, we know that we still have to put our best foot forward, because, like we saw in Japan, we didn't quite get the most out of the car, got pipped by Max, and today Lando's not on the front row. So it's difficult, definitely. I certainly don't think we're fast enough to do whatever we want. But we do have a nice advantage at the moment that we're trying our best to make sure we continue to use week in, week out.
Thank you, Oscar. Any more from the floor? Oh, yeah, one more. We got Luke. Yep.
Luke Smith from the Athletic. Oscar, another one for you. This weekend, like how one of you felt with the car? Because you seem really, really confident. You talked about from P2, P3, and through quali. Like when everything just clicks, like can you just feel that extra bit of pace, I guess, coming out of you?
Yeah, I think so. FP1 was a bit of a write-off for everyone, I think, but FP2 already I felt pretty confident. FP3 this morning was obviously very strong, but in conditions that weren't particularly representative. So you always, I kind of wished that was when qualifying was, but yeah, I think I've been comfortable with the car from FP2. We've not had to change too much from then, and yeah, I think for myself, it's been a car that's been relatively straightforward to put consistent laps on the board, and it's been quick as well, which is obviously the most important thing. So, yeah, just felt very comfortable this weekend. I think I felt comfortable, the whole season so far with the car we've got, but I think this weekend has been another step forward on top of that, which, yeah, I think I was able to show today.
Thank you, Oscar. Any more? No more? We'll leave it there.
Yeah, we are at the end of the press conference. Just I want to say something that I definitely don't agree with Oscar Piastri. I think they have best car on the grid, the fastest car on the grid, but they just didn't know how to use that perfect car. That's my opinion. If this car was on a Max Verstappen, I think the gap would be in the last lap between Max and the other drivers like 20-30 seconds, but somehow they just can't find that optimum balance on the car to be much more faster. But I think the car has the potential, but we will see are they going to find that potential of the car, or just they will struggle like this. Actually, Lando Norris is struggling a lot. Oscar Piastri is just doing a pretty good job, and as I said on the Lando Norris video, if you didn't have watched that video, just you can find on our channel. If things go like this, if the season go like this, I think Lando Norris will be a good wingman to the Oscar Piastri, like Valtteri Bottas was on a time for Lewis Hamilton. That was my last comment for this video. One more time, I'm sorry for the lot of interruptions, but I must do that. And don't forget to like the video, comment it, and subscribe to the channel.